As you guys have just seen, we are going to go ahead and do some recording on this and post it on our website and YouTube so everybody else can see it. But hope you're okay with that. But we figure it's a good way to get the information out. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. It's 1:05. I'll try and do my best to make sure we let other people in that need to get in as we go along here. But just introduce myself. I'm Cody James. I'm the Deputy Director of the Industrial Hemp and Medical Cannabis Division here at the Department of Agriculture. There's a handful of our team members that are on this call as well, such as our licensing specialist, Kevin, our product registration people, Devin and Brandy, as well as some other team members, as well as Thane Dickey, who is the program manager over Industrial Hemp. Um, he will actually be joining us to talk about some things in a little bit after I go through the bill and the rules to talk about if you do decide to do this transportable industrial hemp concentrate, um, what steps you'll have to take as far as reporting it to the department for approval. But first and foremost, I'll go through the bill HB 52 as well as the rules. What this meeting we want to do is to put out the rule to you all, the industry, what those rules look like before we send it up to the administrative rules group. Um, in case you guys had any major questions or things you believe need to be changed in hopes of getting this rule done quicker than normal. And maybe what I should say is that when we do a rule, any rule change or new rule change, once we submit it to rules, it takes about 15 days to be published. And by published, I mean it gets put out there for public comment. And then that public comment lasts 30 days. And depending on what type of comments we get from the public, after that 30 days, if there is no comment or everybody's good with it, then that rule can actually go into effect within a week of that 30 days ending. If there is public comment, then that obviously would get kicked back to us, and we'd maybe have to change some things, which would prolong the time period to get that done. So again, we're hoping that we can get this done, maybe get the public comment a little bit out of the way for this up front, and then be able to move on this a little bit quicker. I know there's some groups within the industry that are looking forward to that. So with that being said, I will actually share my screen really quick. All right, can everybody see my this slideshow? I'm not hearing from anybody. All right, thank you, Nathan. So during the last legislative session, HB 52, the Industrial Hemp Amendments, made some changes to the Hemp and Cannabinoid Act. The ones we want to talk about today are actually for this transportable industrial hemp concentrate. And the first change is actually in the definitions, which pretty much lays out what can actually be started to move into and out of the state as far as this is concerned. So the definition says that transportable industrial hemp concentrate means any amount of a natural cannabinoid in a purified state that is the product of any chemical or physical process applied to naturally occurring biomass that concentrates or isolates the cannabinoids contained in the biomass. It's derived from a cannabinoid plant that, based on the sampling that was collected no more than 30 days before the day on which the cannabis plant was harvested, contains a combined concentration of total THC and any THC analog of less than 0.3% on a dry weight basis. And C has a THC and THC analog concentration total that is less than 20% when concentrated from the cannabis plant to the purified state and is intended to be processed into a cannabinoid product. So just some clarification aspects on that. What the 30 days before, and as it's talking about the cannabis plant, is that it's got to have been certified as industrial hemp, either according to USDA or whatever state that it was grown in, if they do have a state plan with USDA. And then after that, once it's actually extracted, then it could actually start to rise above that 0.3% and up to 20% where it would meet this transportable industrial hemp concentrate. The next change was actually on our authority to regulate. The transportable industrial hemp concentrate was added to the things that we get to make rules about and establish standards for, as far as what a laboratory should test for. I put these portions in red, which are added to the law. So as you can see, that the department will make rules and also establish the standards, methods, and practices for which laboratories must use when we're going to be testing transportable industrial hemp concentrate, and then also establish standards for the transporting of this transportable industrial hemp concentrate into and out of the state. The last change in the statute that has to do with this transportable industrial hemp concentrate is to the unlawful acts. These things were actually added. It says now in the unlawful act that it is unlawful for any person to accept as provided in that portion about bringing in transportable industrial hemp concentrate from another state it's unlawful to bring in anything above 0.3% or more of total THC in any THC analog unless you follow the rules that we're going to be laying out in front of you here shortly. And then goes on a little bit later to say a person may transport transportable industrial hemp concentrate if the person complies with the rules.
Hey, Cody, will you reshare your screen?
Yep, you bet. Saying I can't because it's been disabled by the host. Okay. Apologize for that. So just backing up real quick, this is the authority to regulate portion. It does add transportable industrial hemp concentrate to what we get to make rules for and what testing standards are in the rules. And then what those standards are for bringing industrial hemp, transportable industrial hemp concentrate into and out of the state. The unlawful acts, again, is that it's still unlawful to bring in any cannabinoids or THC above 0.3% THC unless you're following these regulations that we're going to talk about. And then lastly, as I mentioned, that a person may transport transportable industrial hemp concentrate if that person complies with what we talked about in 441-103 and is an industrial hemp producer that's registered with the state of Utah, or they're the equivalent to that industrial hemp producer registered from another state, or registration from another state. So I want you to pay attention to the use of this industrial hemp producer portion, because there's actually a mistake in the bill that has caused us to have to take one extra step as to how this is going to work. But I'll explain that as we go through the rule. So this is the rule that we have put together. It's going to be R66-36. So when this rule goes into effect, you'll be able to find this under the Industrial Hemp and Medical Cannabis Rules, Division Rules, and it will be again numbered R66, which is different than the normal or the current numbers of R68. So just to go through a couple things here in the definitions. The shipment is something that we defined for this rule and this rule only, because whatever gets shipped into the state to one of our processors, that entire shipment is going to have to be something that is tracked for record keeping and for regulatory purposes. Obviously, cannabinoids are just what they are and are defined in several other rules that we have. The cannabinoid processing facility is really what all of you are that are probably on this call. You're either a tier 1 or a tier 2 licensed facility within the state of Utah, which is going to be a requirement based on this rule to be able to bring in obviously this tier or this transportable industrial hemp concentrate. You will have to be a licensed cannabinoid processing facility at either the tier 1 level or tier 2 level. But you also have to make sure that you are registered with us as an industrial hemp processor. As I mentioned in the statute, the industrial hemp processor that you see defined as number 7 in the statute is actually set aside for those producers that are not going to be dealing with cannabinoids. They're going to be more of your industrial hemp fiber manufacturers. And because of that difference in the statute, that is going to allow only that group to really be able to bring in this industrial hemp concentrate. We've had to make a change in the rule to say that you have to be a cannabinoid processing facility as a tier 1 or tier 2, as well as register with us as an industrial hemp processor. There is no cost for that. It is just going to be some extra paperwork that you do as a processor to get registered to do that until we can get to the next legislative session and get that changed in the statute. Just moving on really quickly, a COA, something that all of you are familiar with. Industrial hemp is just putting about the 0.3% THC aspect. And again, industrial hemp processor is something you're just going to have to take a little bit extra paperwork to register with the state in order to either receive or send this concentrate in and out of the state. So we again defined what transportable industrial hemp concentrate means. It's the same wording as was in statute. It's pretty much any concentration that has come from industrial hemp, certified industrial hemp, and it's got to be between the 0.3% and the 20% in order to meet this. Moving on to R6636-3, there's a transportable industrial hemp concentrate may only be transferred by an industrial hemp processor to a cannabinoid processing facility if that transportable industrial hemp concentrate is derived from industrial hemp biomass that has been certified as industrial hemp by a State Department of Ag or the U.S. Department of Agriculture. And then the industrial hemp processor has records to substantiate that certification. So if you're planning on bringing this into the state as one of our processors, whoever you're bringing this in from will need to have a copy of that certification from either USDA or the other state, showing that the biomass that they received initially was certified as industrial hemp. R6636-4 is the transportation of industrial hemp and really the notification and approval. So what the state is going to require is that within 10 days prior to you wanting this concentrate shipped to you, either the facility that it's leaving or the facility that it's coming to, we don't necessarily care who it is, but we'll need to notify the department of the potential transport on a form provided by the department, which is what Thane will go through in just a minute. They'll provide the department again with that COA showing, or that certification showing that the biomass from which the transportable hemp concentrate was derived was actually hemp. Then C, provide the department with a COA of a test result from any lab. This COA could be from any lab in the United States, showing that a representative sample of that concentrate has been tested for cannabinoids to show us that it is between that 0.3% and 20% THC levels. Again, just to reiterate, this COA could be done by any lab that does cannabinoids on the actual concentrate that you're planning on bringing into the state or sending out of the state, just for us to be able to verify that 0.3%, that it is between 0.3% and 20% THC. Number two, the department will look at this information that's submitted to us, and we will probably more likely approve the transport following those the review. But we're always going to make sure that we're in that this is all in compliance with this rule. Once you receive the transport, once we have approved the transport, the department will actually issue a certificate to whoever submitted this to us. And then that transport, that certificate will actually have to be accompanied again with the actual concentrate as it travels throughout the country. It says here that no transportable industrial hemp concentrate may be transferred to a cannabinoid processing facility unless the cannabinoid processing facility has license and good standing with the department. Again, that just comes back to say that you have to be licensed with us in the state of Utah to be able to work on, to be able to do this legally. And then the department will not approve or may not approve the transport of this concentrate with a THC concentration that's greater than 20%, based on the statute itself, which does put a cap at 20%. Onto the transportation portion. After the approval and the concentrate is actually on the road, the concentrate will again be tested for the cannabinoids and be accompanied by that certificate of analysis that again did come from any other lab within the United States. A printed certificate of the transport shall accompany every transport of the concentrate. So that would be the certificate that the department has sent for approval. The certificate of transport may not be voided or changed after the departing of the original industrial hemp processor. So whatever it leaves as, whatever is approved of, that's what it should be. And then we'll see in a little bit the reasons for that. The receiving cannabinoid processing facility shall ensure that they are given a copy of the certificate of transport. So again, all of the COA, the certificate of transport, as well as probably the proof that it was coming from industrial hemp, biomass will need to be at least a copy given to whoever is receiving this concentrate for their records. And then 6, that the receiving cannabis processing facility shall document any differences between the quantities specified in the certificate of transport and the quantities received, and keep that and report that to the department. So you want to make sure if you're supposed to get 2 liters and only 1 showed up, that you are documenting that for your records and for ours, so we can make sure that we follow through with that or follow up on that. Record keeping requirements that's going to be for Utah processors is following the purchase of the transportable industrial hemp concentrate, an industrial hemp processor and a cannabinoid processing facility shall ensure that each shipment is identified as this type of concentrate, and that identification is maintained all the way through until it's completely gone or you disposed of it in whatever way. So once it is received, again, you have to identify it and put whatever it is. We're not going to tell you how exactly to identify it, but we should be able to identify it by looking at it through a sticker or whatever else you want to, and keep that identification maintained throughout its life at the facility. A cannabinoid processing facility shall maintain a record of each purchase that's of the concentrate, including a copy of the certificate for the transportation, the certificate transport, the intended use of transportable industrial hemp. So any records you should be telling us and have on record what you're planning to do with that. The disposition, so records of what you have done with it, what products you've put it in, etc. And then 3rd, each record will need to be available for inspection by the department and kept for a minimum of 3 years after the final disposition of that concentrate. So records will need to be kept for 3 years after you have finished using that concentrate. The testing requirements, which will be a little bit separate from, will be separate from what was originally talked about with the COA, as well as the COA from any lab within the United States and the USDA or the hemp certification from another state. This will be when you actually receive the concentrate into your facility. It will need to be sent to our lab here at the Department of Agriculture lab within 5 days of receiving it. So received on a Monday, by Friday, you should be taking a little bit of a sample, sent up to there so it can be tested one more time by our lab to verify that what was sent to us originally, what you actually have, all meets the criteria laid out in statute and in rule one last time to do that. So as I mentioned, within 5 days of receiving it, the sample will be able to be taken by yourselves. It's not something that the department will need to come down and take samples for. You'll just want to send that a certain amount up to our lab here at the Department of Agriculture. They'll test it and be able to get that COA back to you. That COA should be kept for 3 years again after the final disposition of that concentrate. On to inspections and destructions. The department has the right to conduct a random inspection of each industrial hemp processor and cannabinoid processing facility that's going to be doing anything with this concentrate, thus being subject to the rule. It will include an audit of the following: the records that we've talked about prior to this, the records of the cannabinoid processing facility that has received it. An inspection may take place at any time during normal business hours. And if we do find that this industrial hemp concentrate is out of compliance, then it could obviously be subject to destruction by the department. What we're asked again to go through the records that we're going to be looking at is all those things we mentioned above. And if you're sending it out, you still are subject to this rule. If you're receiving it, you're subject to this rule, obviously, and it probably goes without saying. But R6825, which is our industrial hemp processor rule, you still would need to obviously keep compliance with that as well. This is not separated. It's just in addition to. Some violations that we're calling out in this rule is the transport or transfer of transportable industrial hemp concentrate without notifying the department. Transporting of the concentrate with a THC level greater than 20%. C is a cannabinoid facility allowing the transportable industrial hemp into the facility without the proper records. D would be a cannabinoid processing facility allowing the concentrate into the facility without testing, and then not keeping and maintaining the records or falsifying records as we talked about above, denying the department any access to those records. And then H would be transporting transportable industrial hemp concentrate to a cannabinoid processing facility without a certificate of transport. And then the fines that we have discussed, that they could be anywhere between 3,000 to 5,000 for any public safety violations, 1,000 to 5,000 for regulatory violations, and 500 to 5,000 for licensing violations. The department shall calculate the fees based on the level of violation and the adverse effect, or the potential adverse effect at the time of the incidents giving rise to the violation. And obviously we could enhance or reduce it based on the seriousness of the violation. So just a quick summary, really quickly. In order to do this, you obviously have to be licensed with us, and you'll have to do a one step more to register as an industrial hemp processor with the Department of Ag. But once you decide to do this, you would need to have somebody put into the department that you're wanting to bring this in and give us a detailed description of what exactly is bringing in. There should be a copy of the certificate, the hemp certification with it, and a COA that's showing that that this product or this concentrate is less than 20%. We would approve it, send a certificate saying that we do approve it, and then all those three pieces of paper that I mentioned would need to travel along with this concentrate to your facility and then kept by you for records as you do that. Once it's all received at your facility, take a sample, send it to the lab, and wait on our lab to be able to send the COA, just verifying all the information that was sent. It would only be for all the testing we care about in this situation is only for cannabinoids. So we'll be just looking at the cannabinoid profilers. No need for us anyway to look at any of the other requirements that are for products at this time or anything else. It would just be for cannabinoids. And then record keeping is all that needs to happen for the 3 years past the time you're done using it. So just to clarify, because we've had this question from some processors in other inspections, is that 3 years starts when that product or this concentrate is no longer at the facility. It's not the day you get it and you can keep it for 5 years, but only keep records for 3 of those. So clarifying that the records are for 3 years past the time you're done using this, and it's actually been disposed of in one way. So with that, I will go ahead and stop sharing and turn the time over to Thane. He will actually go through the paperwork that you would need to fill out to do this, and then we'll bring it back to everybody if you have any questions or thoughts on the rule. Go ahead, Thane.
Okay, let's see. Here I am. Can you guys hear me now? Yes. So, what I would like to talk about specifically. So, as Cody talked about, the form the department has to put together a form that we have to have you apply on. For those of you who are familiar with the old hemp waste transfer or the industrial hemp transportation rule from the early days of the program, it's going to be somewhat similar to that. Basically, the pieces of information we're going to be looking for is who is the one who's actually doing the applying, who's going to, they're going to be the point of contact for this. If we have any questions or anything like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to go over, this is just the, let's see, 2 seconds. I just got to get my, where are you at? Mm-hmm. Oh, 2 seconds, sorry. see here. Okay, so this is our the beginning of our industrial hemp transportable hemp concentrate permit form. I really wish it would be something different. Honestly, it's a very big mouthful. However, we're working at those of you who are familiar with our processes. We've been rolling out our new AIMS agricultural information management system for all of our applications and processes and so on. This form will be no different. It will be as part of the next phase of development for Salesforce, which we're working on currently. In the meantime, however, until that system becomes comes up and running, we have to have a form. So we're going to handle it through a Google form. So the form here we're going over, I want to just make sure that understand that when the state put the bounds on this as industrial hemp transportable concentrate, they're specifically referring to concentrates that are between 0.3% and 20% THC. And so this form is going to be required for all transportation of these things. They're allowed to go across state lines now into or within or into or out of the state of Utah. And the form is going to go over, you have to agree to a few things, specifically that that this information could be potentially shared with law enforcement if there's any sort of potential issues with the law. Required documentation such as certificate of analysis, the transportation, the permit itself, and so on are available during the transportation as well as after the fact when it gets to the facility. And ultimately, this is supposed to be concentrate that is to be eventually end up in products. So to the best of your knowledge that these things are being sold to be eventually go on to be able to make hemp products. The first piece of information that we'll be collecting is the applicant's name. So once this is in Salesforce, this person who's filling out the application will be part of Salesforce. So you'll have a Salesforce account or have to have a Salesforce account, whether you're an in-state or out-of-state person, to be able to fill out this application. This is the person that we'll reach out to if we have any questions about the transportation. And they will be filling out all of the appropriate information specifically and submitting documents. So the next piece of information that we're going to want is the sending business's information. So who's going to be sending this? Now, we don't care who initiates the transfer one way or the other, but we need to know who is sending it and who is receiving it. And so we're asking for just the sending business's name. This is going to be modified. Keep in mind, this is a draft with the piece that Cody mentioned about having to add on the industrial hemp producer registration permit thing on top of this that will be added onto here before this gets sent out. But basically, you have to say, I'm licensed in some capacity. Either you're an in-state person and you have the appropriate cannabinoid processing licenses and so on for the state, or if you're from out of state, you're saying, I am an individual who, as per my state, I have the ability to be able to deal with these products, right? So we collect all of the information, and then you go on to fill in information about the receiving business, all of their same information. So this is who is accepting it, whether it's in state or out of state. Like I said, it doesn't matter which way it goes. And then we are going to collect some information specifically about the shipment. You have to attest that, yes, this is certified. Ultimately, this concentration came from certified hemp, which means you have a certificate from the USDA or something of that nature, whether it's a state Department of Agriculture, if it comes from a state where the State Department has a USDA approved hemp plan or something of that nature. But it has to be certified hemp, right? Then you need to be able to, you have to upload that documentation. We want to know how much you're planning on moving, right? There's no limits. It's just the concentration. But what we want to know is how much you're bringing in, list the volume, the number of containers, and so on. So in this case, my example would be 20% concentrate, THC concentrate, 10 liters shipped in 10 separate 1 liter bottles or something of that nature. So we know what to expect if we come to the facility or so on, and we want to see what came in, or so whatever. Then we ask specifically and make sure that it is below and in the appropriate range. You have to attest that it is. You have to tell us what the concentration, the THC concentration of THC and THC analogs, specifically as per our law. And then you have to upload a COA. So this COA, as Cody said, does not have to come from our lab before the transportation. It just has to accompany the transportation. It has to be submitted as part of the actual application, but it can come from any third-party lab, and it has to verify that this is in fact meets the requirement for being transportable industrial hemp concentrate. And then you acknowledge that you're going to bring it in, and you understand, as Cody said, that before you use it, we're going to flesh out these details a little bit more, that you will get your test before using the concentrate with our lab within that 5 days. And then the other thing is, this is a one-time approval. It's just for this particular lot of transportation, right? Each time you need to transport more, you would just fill out another one of these forms. And then if we don't have the information, we'll deny the request, and you can just fill out a new one, and we'll go from there. So then once we approve, we will generate a certificate that we will send out. The certificate will specifically list the sending and receiver's business information, as well as the limit, the amounts of the concentrates, and the applicant's information, to be able to accompany that transportation and then live with that transportation throughout the life cycle of it within a Utah state facility. So that's going to be the form. Once we get into Salesforce, it'll be a Salesforce form. But in the meantime, we don't want to hold up the process by not having something ready before our software developers can do that. So that's all I have at this particular moment for those things. Cody, are you ready to open this up here? Let's see. Just give me one sec, guys. No. I can hear you, Cody. You ready for to open this up to questions?
Yep, that'll work.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to go ahead and open up the allow people to, let's see, one sec. I'm going to allow people to be able to unmute themselves, and you can either ask questions or feedback if you need to in the chat as well. So there, I think everybody should be able to mute. So does anybody have any feedback they'd like to share with us initially?
I would like to say that at least I'm very thankful that you guys are making quick work of this. This has been a pretty hard subject to deal with over the past 2 years. So I just want to say thank you for making this easy. It seems fairly simple. I get it. You got to work around a couple of hops here with the languaging. But all in all, I appreciate you guys moving quickly to help some of us out. That it's imperative that we were able to bring in organic extracts. So this is great. Thank you.
So there is a question in the chat. Specifically, it says, how will the Google Doc link be shared for processors to start using? So once the rule is accepted and in place and we're allowed to start processing those applications, I will not only send out a link to that Google form via email to everybody, but we will also have it as a link on the UDAF hemp and cannabis page as well for people to access.
Doesn't look like there's going to be a whole lot more you guys can feel free to email us if you have any comments or cards. Like I mentioned at the beginning, we do want to get this up to the rules as quick as possible, just like as Nathan said. But if you do have any comments or something, like I said, we'd rather kind of get it done up front rather than pushing it out 45 days for every comment we get after the fact type of thing. So if you do have any comment by Monday morning would probably be the latest we'd want to get it, but if you could have it either tonight or tomorrow, be better. So
Do you see the question in the chat, Cody?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeff Applegate asked, the proposed timeline for permit issuance and state testing is 3 weeks. Add a timeline for us kind of conduct business. Are there any goals for reducing this cycle? So that's kind of the maximum, Jeff. But you know, as we get going, we start seeing these in the department tries really hard to be quicker than that. Obviously, probably my guess is that we should be able to get most things approved within a 2 or 3 day turnaround. As we're talking about the initial 10, I think probably the biggest time frame is going to get that from the lab. But with just cannabinoids, they can do that pretty quickly. And we'll just continue to work the best we can to be on top of that as we move forward type of thing. And probably, you know, it'll be that first initial time. You know, my assumption is that you guys will be planning ahead enough that it'll be that first time that maybe you do it. I could be wrong on that, but you know, right now the 10 days does give us that ability to do some background information checks if we need to, as well as do some verifications on our end, and then also gives us time. We are busy with other things, but we'll try our best to stay on top of that. So.
So, like I posted in the chat as well. You can go to our UDAF industrial hemp page on YouTube. We are going to post the recording of this video. We also have been posting the recordings of our new industrial hemp licensing meetings. Like Cody said, please reach out to us if you guys have any questions or you would like to give any feedback. The earlier you can get that to us, the better it is for our turnaround times to be able to get this out there. We don't have anything else. Are we good, Cody?
Yeah. Just last thing I said, just to reiterate that if you do have a comment or question, you know, feel free to reach out through email or whatever. But as I mentioned, the timelines we're kind of short on getting in, so we can get this done by going in by May or within the May timeframe. So. Maybe just the last thing to mention is just a reminder of our monthly meetings that we have with licensees in this, and that
we have our next meeting is coming up on next Tuesday at is it 1 p.m. or is it I'm sorry, I got a lot of meetings on. I just make sure that I'm giving you guys the right one, but we have our the next meeting specifically is at 1 p.m. It's our monthly industrial hemp licensing meeting. It's on the first Tuesday of each month. So this is going to be Tuesday, April 2nd. We sent out a reminder about it yesterday, and we're going to send out a reminder the day of as well. It's a Zoom meeting. And this month, we're going to be focusing on some of the updates for the legislative session as well, but we're going to be focusing on retail and retail permits. And then the next month, we're going to be back to processors. So please, we also post the links to those, but I'd strongly encourage you to come and participate. So.
So again, thanks everybody for joining. Any input we appreciate, and feel free to reach out. Thank you, everybody.